everybody. Welcome back to We-MNF, where the masses meet the nerds and the freaks. And today, Chico will bring us a song to share. Please, Chico, what will you share with
Hi,
us today?
hi everybody. Today I choose a song by Stevie Wilson called Luminol. The song is from the album The Raven and That Refused to Sing and Other Stories.
Great title, yeah?
Uh,
Great title for an album, yeah?
yes, the album was released in uh, 25 February uh, 20, 2013. Each track of the album is based in histories of the supernatural
Mm.
stories. Very interesting this information. And other important curiosity is that Alan Parsons is the audio engineer of the album. Um, uh, for who's don't remember or don't know, Alan Parsons was the audio engineer of the Wall, the Pink Floyd, the famous album from Pink Floyd.
I think he was the engineer for Dark Side of the Moon too.
I
I think
can
so. I think so.
affirm that,
And there is
that
another curiosity
or
because,
probably,
yeah,
probably.
the first album by the Alan Parsons Project, Alan Parsons Band, Tales of Mystery and Imagination, is based on Edgar Allan Poe's stories. And famously, one of the most known stories by Allan Poe is The Raven. And there is a track in Tales of Mystery and Imagination, the first album by Alan Parsons, entitled The Raven. And this album is entitled The Raven Who Refused to Sing.
Okay.
It can be a coincidence. It can be a coincidence, yeah.
I think not. It's not surprising that.
Yeah.
And so the band is, of course, Stevie Wilson, lead vocals and guitars. Uh, Guthrie Govan is a great leader guitar, a spectacular guitar player. Nick Baggs on the bass.
A
Uh,
great bass
all,
player, great bass player.
yes, all these people is British, and we have Adam Rose. I'm reading here because I can remember everybody.
No, sure,
Uh,
it's part of the game.
Adam Hoseman in keyboards is a crazy, all great musicians, and the spectacular Marco Miniman in the drums, and the German guy. So Theo Travis in the saxophone, flute, and clarinets. It's all the album. In the song specifically, I can say who is playing what. I know that the Nick Baggs is the best player in this song. We
Okay.
can say we can
See in the video, yeah.
watch because it's a live version bring we are
So,
bringing here.
so here it
Okay,
is.
let's
Luminol
see.
live in Mexico City with Steven Wilson.
Thank you so much.
That's the beginning.
struggle to come so far, but end up returning to dust.
When you want me to stop, please tell me.
Now,
Now?
you can stop now. Man, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
That's
We
something.
can, we need to hear more because the song has 12 minutes. And speaking in 12 minutes, this show is 2012.
I think it was
So
2013 appeared, yeah?
no, no.
2012? Okay.
This live in Mexico City, it's
2012.
2012. That
Mm.
is, this version is before the release of the album.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
interesting. That's
yes.
interesting. Yeah.
And so the famous guitar player Griffey Govan that I talk about that recorded the original song in the album is not this guy playing
Oh, I
guitar.
see.
I don't know the name of this guy in the stage. So
Mm.
um,
But
the
then,
and what a sound of bass.
oh
Spector.
yeah. For well, in the mixing, the bass is quite to the front, yeah, quite to the
Yes,
front. In the yeah,
it's like Chris Squire sound. Very
Uh,
very mid sound. It's a Spector NS2 bass and with
okay.
a little drive, like Chris Squire. I saw this guy in a picture playing the Rickenbacker to
Oh,
like
okay.
Chris
Okay.
Squire.
Okay, but that's a Spectre, yeah. I don't remember seeing this bass. I know the guy. I know Nick Baggs. That's a Spectre. Okay, nice. Now play like him.
Yes.
Well, but this guy is a great bass player. I didn't know the drummer. The
Amazing.
drummer is fantastic
Amazing.
too. Yeah,
Wow.
and
This band is crazy.
yeah, and as usual, the compositions by Steven Wilson are always very adventurous, challenging, beautiful. It's really great. I think we should go back to the sound because it is 12 minutes. Otherwise, this will become a rather long video. So let's return a bit to get the feeling and let's go. Steven Wilson's in the keyboards now, yeah? That was a great keyboard solo. Yeah, it's very
Oh,
crazy, crazy keyboard solo. And this conversion by the end is quite nice. I was listening to the conversion, remember when we were teenagers and playing, and we were crazy about doing conversions. I was not playing, don't play anything. I was just reciting poetry. But you and Alexandre do incredible conversions. Great.
incredible, difficult in this situation, especially.
Yeah.
What is incredible too is that despite the virtuosity, the composition and the musicians, the music in general is so soulful.
Yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, and that's
it's
important because sometimes technicality gets in the way of emotion, and sometimes we listen to uh, some bands that they are so technical, but they don't say anything. There is
yes,
virtuosity per virtuosity, but here is in the service of the composition, service of the emotions that the musicians are bringing. Yeah, it's really fantastic.
especially nowadays. We will not call the names, but so many bands so good, but not
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
touchable.
Saying nothing.
Uh,
Yeah, saying nothing.
and
And it-
it's not the case. Porcupine Tree, the band
by Steven Wilson. Yeah,
of, is great too. In this sense, is
yeah,
soulful, very very um, effective technically.
yeah, yeah. And if you think of the style of Porcupine Tree and Steven Wilson, particularly Steven, I think Porcupine Tree is more like progressive rock or prog metal, something like this. Steven Wilson can be very poppy too, but
Yes, he
here,
also only as a solo artist uh, already released 7 albums,
yeah,
and 3 of them uh, was nominated to Grammy
yeah, yeah,
Awards.
yeah, yeah. He's very successful as a pop musician, but this track in particularly, it is a prog rock. Yeah, I don't think it
Yeah,
is even prog metal. I think that's basically progressive rock.
that is for me is the best album, and that is the I like most of
Yeah,
them.
it's a great album. I knew the song Luminol. It's not the first time I'm hearing, so it's not except a reaction to the song, but it is a reaction for this performance because I never heard this performance before. And it's very curious that it is before the album was recorded, so that's really interesting. So they were possibly testing the tracks along the tour to see what was working, what was not working. And I can't compare what's going on here with the album because I'm not so. It's a long time I heard this album, so my memory doesn't allow me to compare. But it could be interesting to make a comparison, see what evolved from this live performance to the album.
It's incredible.
Let's go back. Oh yeah, please.
There is a video in the YouTube showing the studio when
Mm.
Stevie Wilson was made in the album.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. I didn't see that.
there is some uh, uh, parts of this song recording the song. They
Okay.
recording the song.
Yeah, nice. I'll see this later. Well, let's go back. If someone is not thrilled by this track, there should be something wrong with someone who is not thrilled with this kind of music. Let's go. Oh, nice. Art is true. The shirt.
has no truck with idle chat. Work to be done. The songs he learned from scratched LPs. Stop segment flow to sip his tea. The chords he plays with less than grace. Songs we all know. Each passing year etched on his face. Sun, rain, or snow. The words he sings are not his own. They speak of things you'll never know.
Fantastic.
Yes,
I see echoes of Yes, which is a band we surely play here in the channel. But I don't know if you agree with me, but this kind of transition from a very is a heavier part, and then you change into
Ed,
this very atmospheric thing. This is very much like what Yes was doing in many of their compositions.
Ed, adding something to that, I think that the way that Steven sing remember me a little the Pink Floyd too.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I
So,
agree. I agree.
but
I think
but
he's a big fan of Pink Floyd. Yeah, so it's
yes, in
understandable.
in all the commu community of the prog rock is fan of him too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
At
It's very
at the
true.
point that they call Stevie Wilson to make versions in
Remaster the albums. Yeah, yeah,
transforming the album in Dolby Atmos.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Rush, yes, King Crimson,
Gentle Giant.
Gentle Giant. This guy, all these bands is so uh, fan of his work.
This is a kind of is a great recognition because he grew up, I think, being fans of all these bands, and now he came to a
Yeah,
position where he is working on their albums and making them sound different. I'm not so sure. I think it sounds better, but it sounds different. It is refreshing anyway.
Yes,
Let's move back to the song.
please.
One
little
minute.
more. Yes, totally.
Yeah. Echoes of Yes. That's amazing, yeah.
What a drama.
Yeah. What a performance! What a performance! Really, really great. And it's interesting because we see the influences there. He's singing, influenced
Always,
by David Gilmour
always.
for singing, and the guitar player make a very short solo, but reminded like Adrian Belew in King Crimson. And the composition reminds of Yes, but when you put everything together, it's something else, yeah. It's
Yes,
more than
it's
just because we have these bands who are trying to do prog rock and they're very influenced by King Crimson, yes, and so forth. But then when listen to the composition, they are like patches. One bit of Yes, and then one bit of Rush, and then one bit, and doesn't make much sense. It's like just it's like a collage of things, just a
I think
mosaic. But in
I
Steven
think
Wilson Porcupine Tree, they take all this influence, they put in the blender, and becomes him. Yeah, his music. Yeah, it's great.
I think it's your original.
It is original.
It's
It is original. Yeah.
just despite of the all uh, evidence of the influence
Oh
that
yeah, sure, sure,
that
sure.
there is. But when you saw this same band with the another guitarist, the Guthrie Govan, you can feel that is very original
Very original.
because
Yeah.
this guitar player is not uh,
As good as this, the one in the
is
album.
not
Yeah.
is not common. He has a exceptional technique, if exceptional feeling, uh, that impressed the all the back
You,
influence.
you are talking about the guy who recorded in the studio album. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. It's
Uh,
better. It's better than this.
yeah.
Even this one is
Yeah.
good too. But
Oh, sure, surely. Surely is a good guitar player. One thing that if we can add a bit of philosophy to the music channel, it is like that. So you have some kind of processes in nature that will make a quantitative increase. You put a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Then at some point you have a critical turning point that something qualitatively new emerge. So I think that that's what's going on here. So influence from Yes, influence from King Crimson. You can see an influence from Pink Floyd, but the sum is more than is the whole is more than the sum of the parts. So it becomes Steve Wilson. So it's not like the bits and pieces just put together. It is something else. It grows into something genuinely novel, even though most of the new things that happen in creation, almost nothing. I think nothing is entirely new. Everything is putting things
yes,
together and growing into something else that's really original, but
uh,
they're coming from somewhere. Yeah.
the point that I think is not a mimetic music.
Yeah.
It's not. There is no plagiarism. Plagiarism. Yeah.
Plagiarism. Yeah. Oh, mimetic. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I think you got exactly the right concept because sometimes you listen. There is one band, I forgot the name. Sorry. It's a band that looks like Gentle Giant. I forgot the name, but it is a mimesis of Gentle Giant. It doesn't make
yes,
much sense that it was
at
you
least
know.
try to.
It's hard. It's hard to be a mimesis of Gentle Giant, yeah, for sure.
Very,
But we already
and
have Gentle Giant. We don't want to listen to something that is a copy of Gentle
yeah,
Giant. It doesn't make much sense. But here, there is no copy. The simple fact that we see the influences merging in a new combination, new form, shows that's original here.
an architect, Portuguese architect, called about his influence in his projects, and because there is many evidence of the modernism, but to the local techniques, local materials, so vernacular architecture, and people asking him about this influence is if as a statement of his style. So he responded that there is no style because each project is singular.
Oh yeah.
He talked about this kind of influence that is assumed that really exists is in our inconscient, and how we
Our
put
unconsciousness, our
how,
unconscious. Yeah.
how we put together in the composition, like
Yeah.
music. This is the analogy I'm trying to
Yeah,
give
yeah, I
you.
know. This happens
Uh,
everywhere, from painting to architecture, to music, to philosophy and science. It's all the time you have this kind of emergence of new
uh,
things. Yeah.
in terms
What's
of
the
the
name
feel,
of the Portuguese architect? I didn't get the name.
Álvaro Siza
Álvaro Siza. Siza.
is from Matosinhos, Portugal.
Matosinhos, yeah, yeah.
And what in terms of the feeling, we can put this in simple terms because we'll feel a little uh, comfort, like we'll pertense this kind
Yeah,
of song because we
you
already
we
like
belong, yeah, we find a
this.
sense of belonging, yeah, because
Yeah, yeah.
I can recognize that.
At the same time, you can experiment the feeling of the uncanny.
Mm,
You can the strange feeling about
yeah,
we were
yeah,
experimenting at the time. These two things together,
yeah, I agree. Yeah,
when happen in a kind of excellence of technique, it's great. And
yeah, yeah.
you can
Well,
say,
that's a great synthesis, because you recognize a little bit of yes, a little bit of King Crimson, then you get this feeling of familiarity. So makes a more comfortable, easier experience, because you are finding where you are, but at the same time, it's not a copy, so you are challenged to move into new territory. So then you have this combination of great musicians. It's always nice to see great musicians, but they're not simply showing how great I am. They are playing in function of the composition, and the composition, it is challenging and familiar at the same time. So I think that's part of the fascination with this kind of work. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
yeah, familiarity and the unfamiliar
Yeah,
feeling.
and then familiar at the same time. Familiarity and
Freud,
challenge. Yeah, yeah.
Freud wrote about that.
I didn't know that. I don't know
Yeah,
so much
yes.
about Freud. Well, we told you that this music channel would have some philosophy and other things mixed up with it. We told you that. But
Yeah.
okay, I think it's time to finish this video. Yeah, if you like it, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I hope you're enjoying. We are enjoying sharing music, so we have the expectation that you're enjoying too. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's all, folks. Bye.
Bye.